Hello, hello, hello. We are going to get ShiningNikki versus Say41 here shortly. Is this Say? I think this is Say41's name now. I should favorite it and call it Say41 because it's actually confusing. Mm. Yeah, let's do Duck41. Nikki games are always funny to watch because Nikki does like the same draft, but it's entertaining, the draft, you know? And it makes sense with the waifu choice, you know, to go all in on Lana. Ah, gonna be bedtime after this game, I think. Pretty sleepy. Do they? Those don't look like numbers. Not that I don't really know, like, Chinese or Japanese or anything, but I weeb enough to know that that's not the number 4 and the number 1. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I think this is only the second game Say41 has played. I was looking at the score sheet a little bit, checking in on how the teams are doing, and I might like ping people this weekend for those who haven't gotten in a lot of their games. But so he's running a fair bit of stuff that's interesting. He's got the Pirotas, he's got like Atoa, Betty, Hoffman, Alti, a lot of uncommon stuff. I think Say41 should know what to do against Nikki. I don't know which of the 6 you want to knock out here at this point between Imelda, Ash, Flo, Luna, Akka, Iris. I think I'd probably give lower priority to the Flo because she's not giving her an extra strong buff or anything. But the other 5, it's hard to distinguish from. And he's, you know, P2, so I don't know which of these you try to allow. He goes for the Imelda Iris. That's as good an option as any. He picks up a magic aura with the Christie. I was gonna say I think Nikki will take the Ashmore. I think that's the strongest of the boosters he has on the table. Yeah, so he bans the faction buffers is what I was thinking as well. I was actually thinking he has a pretty solid Imelda or Hoffman pick to enable to try to get close enough to reach to break up the combo with the Helena. Although I don't actually know if Helena works with Hoffman's enable or not. I think she might, even though a lot of those types of heroes with those ignore conditions don't work with like polyol tiles and stuff. Hey, Race Crew. But I think it probably does work with Hoffman because it's not a tile-based thing, it's an aura-based thing. Toa could be pretty solid too as a super long-range single target threat if he's flyer. Something to help break up the super Lana incoming. I do think that Kyra is an interesting pick from Nikki. That's a little unusual. Usually it's just all in on the Lana carry. So he does get this P2 flow. I still don't hate the Toa for 41, but auto is also not bad as like a scramble to kind of break up the Lana play. It's just there is a flow and a Kyra, so his damage is going to be insignificant. So I think I prefer the Toa pick. So he bans Julie and Olivier, leaving Ares TJS. Okay. I think the Ares Ashamar could have turned into a really scary thing, but Nikki likes Lana, not Ares, so he's making Lana do super carries, not Ares, which is good. That's how it should be. But Ares Ashmar is one of those no-no combos that you should never allow. Arguably, Nikki's entire box is no-no combos, though, so. Hey, Zuko. There's like 3 DPS in this box, and then a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to give with those DPS. Basically, is how the box is set up. Both do have the like tier 3 player perk of getting an extra enabler in the box, which is part of why it's so intense. At least this will be an exciting match, so even though I'm sleepy, I'll stay plenty awake for this, I think. So in terms of unusual buffs, the Lana just gets the command from the Ashmar. She doesn't get like an extra strong King Crown, anything like that. So it's just attack buff and Ashmar command. So into the Christie aura, I don't think that's really going to do the trick to one-shot. I don't think. Unless he's got like King Crown on the Kyra for her. Nothing else can really provide a damage increase for her here. So I think that Say41 with the Jugler and Christie won't get like totally crippled by a single Lana AoE. And the Toa could potentially be a pretty good counter rush thing. We'll see how it plays out. So it's Infantry Toa with presumably wings. So you could use that to boost one of these two to zone. Got an Aqua Jug. Okay. Got Gospel on Kyra. Lana does with LA troops. Okay, it's a Holy Kyra, so not going to be a King Crown, so I don't think Lana will get buffed enough to one-shot. He does go for Angels as his troops, which is an interesting thought. To try to have more troops left alive after the AoEs, maybe? I don't know. I do feel like he should have set something up with the Toa to boost one of these two to start threatening, because, like, I don't think there's really much stopping Nikki right now from pulling the Lana up and dance partnering her to go in. Picks up a Moby buff from the Ashmar pull. Ash herself's not going to reach anything here this turn, but that's fine. So Lana is a speedy lady. She can reach up to here. She doesn't need to go nearly that far. Looks like Toa's going to gift his wings, gift her wings, sorry, to he goes for the Pyro. So what is her range looking like now? 5, 2, and I think the skill is naturally 3 blocks, so up to 4 with Lurker potentially. Okay. So the time is now for Lana to go in. I feel like you may as well do it from max range here. Stay close to the Ashmar and like within flow AA range. Yeah, no kills with the Christy Aura and stuff in play. I do actually think though that it's dangerous for Pyrrha to go for kill. We'll see if Helena can get it through the Lancer soldiers. She is out of flow AA range, I'll say. Can she just teleport her back? Potentially, yeah, with the strength to act again and then teleport Lana to rescue her, maybe? If she lives. Okay, she lived at the first bout. Does she... Now, should we get a grunting trigger? Okay, I think that's game. Nikki's games are not what I would call complicated, which is nice. Kyra could technically function as a win con, but the thing is you're fighting a Christy Aura and you've already lost an ally, so like she's super neutered at this point. It'd be hard to make her carry. You would have to get the Ashmar to partner her, but it's a million years before Ashmar can partner again. Not his alt, this is just Say41, I think. His account has just been renamed at some point or another. The Ashmar can get AA'd by flow to try to go into AoE, but it's just not going to do enough through the Jugler. Pyrrha catches a pretty... Actually, I guess she had the +2 from the wings anyways. From Toa. So Toa's threatening the Ashmar potentially. I don't know if he wants to YOLO that far. I don't think he has any need to. There's no real follow-up ready here from Nikki. So we do have the Moby down there. That TJS could potentially follow up on, but only with basic. Pretty clean kill. Kyra should be able to kill that. We'll see if she just carries, but I think it's hard for Kyra to solo carry. I'm not sure I would have traded the Toa for the Yashimar there. She can self-heal herself potentially here using her 3C after she goes to kill something. She hits pretty genuinely hard, but she's going to be lacking buffs going further into the match. She's not actually Origins or anything, or Princess. She only had buff from the Toa copy. Because, like, anything under tank can win the game after the Kyra is dead. Like, any of his DPS under tank would be fine. But it's harder to get to the Kyra now with that Toa gone. And it's not like the Kyra was threatening him yet or anything. I think it was premature. Like, she can kill T-Jess now, but that's not valuable. You have to just move the Christie up. The Christie is actually still not guarding, I should say, from the Ice Dragon Breath. Because the Ashmar has already done what she was going to do this game. Does she have run back? Yeah, she does. So he is going to go for the T-Jess. I think she has some cooldown reduction from her casting, I want to say. Oop, can't kill. Counter killed, in fact. I was wondering if she was just going to one-tick all the troops and get that kill, but nope. Dang. I really thought Say41 had it. Maybe the Christie Punch does it, but I think the blow makes the team stay alive too well. Wow, he just takes a life off of an Angel's Christie. That's kind of crazy. I wonder if he's not Tiamat. Christie has pretty high attack, as in it has high MDEF. But I just don't think she wins the game here. I do think it'd be a mistake for Flo to attack, but the other two are fine to just start poking, I think. Oh, Kyra doesn't have skill yet. Okay. Still, T-Jess can start poking. Here's the pretty fundamental Christie endgame problem. You can live a really long time against a lot of stuff. What you cannot do is you cannot kill on offense. Okay, so he's forbidden on Christie. I mean, I guess he's infantry Christie, so that's not unusual. I'm just a Tiamat believer. I run Tiamat on everything that can run Tiamat. Yeah, imagine throwing. That's never ever happened to us, right? Any of us? Alright, let's take a look at game 2 here. Yeah, I think Say41's pick ban was honestly pretty solid there. He just made some questionable trades. Let's see if they change any sidebox stuff here. It is an awkward map for Helena. She has trouble getting started here turn 1 because of the desert tiles. Say41's box is really infantry flavored. I'm just kind of noticing. Got the infantry Christie, the infantry obviously, infantry Hoffman, infantry Betty, infantry Toa, infantry Auto. I suppose for these two, there's no other option, but that's 4 heroes in infantry that are not always running infantry. And for these 3, I would argue not even typically running infantry. Although the wings infantry Toa thing has become pretty standard issue for Waifu Wars. I'm not necessarily convinced it's always better than Flyer Toa. We have Crimzo sub in. Neat. I always like Crimzo, he's a cool unit. I think doing healing reduction effects is neat and a not very common niche. So I like seeing stuff like that. That is not just I do a crap ton of damage or I do a crap ton of debuffs. I do not a ton of stuff, but I do a fairly unique thing. Rice Crew's not here for the Tank Betty games. So Say41 goes for similar bans this time, but instead of banning the Iris, he bans the Ash. And Luna instead of Imelda this ban round. So a little, same idea, but he goes for different specific enabler bans. Because I think last time it was Varna, Imelda, Iris in the first 3 versus Akka, Ashmar, Luna in the first 3. Those being the main 6 boosters that Nikki's boxing. So a different tactic this time, he grabs auto healer DPS over auto healer tank. Could potentially get both Nikki picks up an early Lucretia. Not going all in on the Lana carry this game. Or at least not picking an enabler second. It doesn't mean that Lana's not going to do a billion damage after like a Varna or a Melda or Iris pick. I think what happened last game with that Pirotis whip was I think her faction buff had run out because I don't think her Actigan preserves buffs unless that's what her casting fixed. Because I honestly thought she would kill the TGS. She hits pretty hard, and it's not like TGS is that tanky. Even though it's just hero ticks basically, I would think she would one tick the troops. And I think she two-ticked them. Oh, if he's got her cast, it's does preserve buffs on AA. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to Pirotis with Stinger damage, not Lurker. So we do have a Hoffman pickup here, and the Betty. This might be a Betty tank game, Rice Crew. Versus, I guess it'd only be against Julian, so is it really a Betty tank game? Really, it's a Hoffman tank game. And Julian 4th is also pretty nuts. In terms of what he banned where he probably didn't need to ban that high, it's probably these two, the Crimzo and T-Chest. They're good heroes, but I don't think they're the most important bans in a Lana box. I do think Hoffman's aura could be a good way to reduce damage here. Desert's a pretty, a lot of the action in Desert happens around the central pool. So if you have your Hoffman aura decreasing the damage in that direction, you could potentially hurt Lana's damage quite a bit with that 15% imp down effect. Plus, if she tries to go Redeemers, that would disable them. Like, actually, last game, he brought Gospel on Kyra, and then didn't bring Redeemers on his Lana, which would have potentially saved her, right? I don't think Helena's tile effect counts as like a debuff aura. It's just it does a debuff when you stand, but the tile effect itself shouldn't count as a debuff or anything because the tile itself doesn't do anything. So she should have been fine to revive if she brought Redeemers last game. All that to say, I think she should bring Redeemers because he has Kyra again. But I do think it's an interesting idea with the ranged counter troops to try to counter kill after you've hit them. So let's see, we've got not Apex boots on either of these guys or on the Betty. Betty looks like wings. Otto looks like spirit boots. Hoffman looks like an attack and defense accessory. He did bring tank skill on Betty, yeah, you're right. Even though she can't guard the magic. So we do have Gospel on this Kyra, and not on this Kyra. He brings the not guard ignoring damage skill. Bozil goes Stone Colossus. That's an interesting pick. One funny thing with Bozil is his stats don't go down at all from the shield because he's MDef converting. Do you think it's interesting that he didn't start the auto in the front center? Because I think that's your best, like, do a big mess thing to start things off. And it's not like Hawkman needed to move up far. So he can reach up to here because of the Hawkman aura. Because he is exclusive, right? Yeah, he is. But, like, that's not going to hit much up to this row. Oh, that's true. I didn't even notice that. He did bring melee troops on Kyra, huh? So he has to, like, attack at 3 range. They do have soldier range, +1 not soldier range attack with you, so yeah, they'd have to attack at 3 range, not 4. He does walk a couple of things right into the auto range here. And he does go for it. So Lana's blocked. Kayu's effectively blocked because she's straight lined. He did clock, which is pretty huge. I would argue really huge impact. Does not like Julian can do anything to him, so you can just walk up, get ready to do it again next turn. Steal even more buffs. Run back again. I even think he shouldn't have retreated that far. He should have just gone for it again. Is that where he was? Gotten all 7 or all 6 of these guys. So he goes for the Hoffman first. Good damage. Oh, it's Spirit Boots on Hoffman. He just has to get a pretty decent attack. I guess it's 2k attack with an attack buff, which is fairly low for an attack talent unit, so that makes sense that it's Spirit Boots. Personally, I just use a damage accessory on mine. So this activates Julian, who's the only one who's relatively intact. But he's not going to do much on his own here. He doesn't have his casting yet, so he can't, like, chip stuff before he hits it, and if stuff's not chipped, he doesn't really hit that hard with a single target. He can AoE and try to get the AA, of course, but... So I was gonna say... the Luke is a strong next option to attack, but although she can still black hole, I guess. I'd maybe go for that before doing anything with Julian. What is Elena reach? Probably not great reach here, I feel. Like, not getting all the way back here. I think if you do the Luke before you do anything with Julian, it could be pretty potent. Although Lana's right here, so you may as well do her first, I guess. She's pretty debuffed. but she may as well black hole. Try to roll debuffs. Ooh, he goes for Julian against the full health Helena. This should whip. Yeah, even with crit. That was not the correct move, I think. He had two different heroes that could hit with AoE, one of which was in attack range of the enemy, so you may as well use that hero first, right? Because now the problem is Kyra can just use it as a sponge point to hit from before it even got any damage in. Oh, he brought Faith, not jump back. I didn't even notice. Oh. 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 I see. That's unfortunate. I wonder if that was like just an accidental I forgot to look at Luke's skills, or if Nikki intentionally took a single target on Luke. I have a hard time imagining that I was intentionally taking a single target, but this is the Hoffman soldier range down. The soldiers couldn't actually hit there, I think. Although they would have had 2 range, I would have thought. Yeah, I do think Nikki had a real chance there with different set of actions. Like, different turn order going into turn 2, basically. The auto clock was pretty rough, but after he went in for the second auto scramble, he actually scrambled stuff into really strong positions for Nikki to attack from. Yeah, pretty solid 1-1 there. I think that's it for me. I'm pretty tired. It's almost tomorrow, so I'll probably wrap things up there. Thanks for watching, guys.